Off-grid life doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, one of the secrets to thriving off-grid is keeping things simple. So in that vein, I'm going to share with you some of my most essential kitchen gadgets, tricks, and a couple hacks that just make things easier for me and makes it more enjoyable to spend some time in the woods. All right, first up, I want to talk about this butane stove. This thing has been with me for more than a decade and a half, and it has basically worked flawless. It uses these butane cartridges. These are not going to break the bank either. I think I paid $10 for a 4-pack, and we're talking Canadian dollars. And it just works. I do an awful lot of my cooking on this. If I'm up here on my own, this is basically all I need. You know, I'm just frying up an egg or a burger or something like that. Of course, in the winter time, I use the wood stove and barbecue. But for indoor cooking, this has just been phenomenal for me. Highly recommended. It's worked for me. If you have a different experience with it, let me know. When I first bought this, I had a neighbor mention to me, he said, "Oh my God, my friend had one of these and nearly blew his hand off." So I spent, the first couple of years thinking I was going to blow my hand off. Well, 15 years I haven't blown my hand. And here's my collection of cast iron. I love cooking with cast iron. Cast iron is simple, there's no coatings, nothing's going to break. It's simply a pan that lasts forever. It works on a butane stove, wood stove. You can use it on an open fire. And in a pinch. Okay, let's talk about food storage. It helps if you have a decent little kitchen pantry. Keep everything nice and organized in here. I use these little lights. You can just got a little magnet in there that it just sticks up there. A couple of AAA batteries, and you're all set to jet. When you're living in a tiny cabin or small space or even RV camping, you really got to keep things organized because things can get out of control pretty quickly. So I keep the staples up here. In the wintertime, we've got mice here, so you got to keep everything nice and sealed up. Mason jars are convenient. The cool thing actually with this cabinet is that it's pretty much mouse proof. There's not going to be any rodents getting in there. But I do keep everything in Ziploc bags. I overuse them basically. And good to have dry staples up here, just for an emergency supply. Let's see what we got here. We got some very delicious, nutritious pouch pasta. We got some pancake mix. Things like this stores really well. Some, scalloped potatoes. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I am not a fan of doing the dishes. So I use paper plates, and at the end of a weekend, I usually only have a few utensils to wash up and a glass or a mug, and I like that. No apologies. Essentials always stay within easy reach. This is only in case I forget the real coffee. Okay, let's talk about water. This is one of the most important things you need to consider if you have an off-grid property, is drinking water and water for doing dishes and showering and around the cabin. So I've kept things simple over the years. I harvest my own rainwater. I also have access to water down at the creek. And I've been a little bit lazy, and I've pretty much just, for the most part, just brought up my own water. Just refill the jug at home. Sometimes I pay the $5 just for the convenience, so I don't have to, less walking with a few pounds of water on your arm. And then I always keep, some smaller 1 liter jugs up here. You see, this one is frozen. I need distilled water for my sleep apnea machine. I want to talk about this bad boy. Membrane Solutions sent me this to have a look at and to share with you guys. This is going to be fantastic. I looked at water filters when I first got the property, and I thought, geez, wouldn't that be convenient to just, again, harvest my own rainwater, not worry about drinking water or, boiling it or using, water purification tablets or whatever it is, and just getting a simple UV filter, gravity-fed water system. This is it. Now, let's be straight. I'm not going to be using this for every single time I come up to the cabin. I'm generally, I'm a weekend warrior. But when I am here for extended times, maybe in the summertime, I will absolutely use this. I don't know how many times I've run out of water up here and had to drive back into town just to get water, or, spend some time boiling some water from the creek. So I think this is going to be just super, super convenient. Now, here's another good reason to think about having a water filter, at least as a backup system. If the grid goes down, if your power goes down, your drinking water is not drinkable any longer, what are you going to do? This is just going to do the trick for you. It uses 3 filters, then it's got the built-in UV filter as well, and that just runs off of batteries. I did notice the batteries are a little bit weird. When I tried to hook this up, I wanted to actually give you a demo of the UV light in action. I assumed that it was AA batteries. They're not. There's some weird type of battery that I'm going to have to look up and order those from Amazon. Membrane Solutions also makes this little personal water filter, you know, very, very tiny. This thing is awesome for going camping, or, you know, I'm planning to use this for overnight kayaking trips. Basically, it's the same principle as this, but it's a single filter. You attach this to a water bottle, hang it upside down, and Bob is your uncle. If you're interested in picking one of these up, Membrane Solutions is providing a 10% discount for viewers of the channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Tastes like not dysentery. All right, another kind of little oddball thing to throw into a kitchen gadget review, but this little light. This is a rechargeable, USB rechargeable light. I've had this for a number of years. Unfortunately, I can't link to this exact light because I got it from Princess Auto, and I'm not sure if they still make it or not. But it's got you know, a couple of different color temperature settings, and it is just been so convenient. And I do use it around the cabin. I use it as a flashlight, so you know, in the summertime I'm using the outhouse, I will bring this with me out for wood splitting, but also just for moving it around the kitchen. The kitchen is the one part of my cabin where I can do some improvement with the lighting, put it that way. So this little thing is so convenient. I just like it. So there you go. Go to Princess Auto if you're in Canada. If not, I'm sure you can find it elsewhere, probably for 25, 30 bucks. Just really, really handy to have. All right, I want to talk a little bit about this hand pump for a second. I know this isn't the most exciting, you know, gadget that I can feature, but it's one of the most useful. This thing is just as it is. It's just a hand pump. It screws on top of these 5-gallon water jugs that, you know, a lot of us use. There's no batteries. There's no fuss. You know, you can get those fancy ones where you press a button. It just works. Anything that is electronic is going to break. 15 years and counting. How can you be 15 years old? Hey, old lady? So I've wandered along the creek a ways just to see if I could find a spot that was safe enough for me to get the jug in there and get some water for a test, but that's not going to happen. I don't want to die of dysentery or drowning. Quick look at the bees here while we're outside. You can see they've been out doing some cleansing flights. Don't eat the yellow snow. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at you ladies. The heck are you doing out on a day like this? I know what they're doing out. They're going to the bathroom. Yum, yum, yum.
I'm going to be hunkered down here, staying low for the next hour or so because...
All right, we'll do a little pre-rinse here. This is how we do the dishes up here. Good morning. Good morning. All right, good morning, guys. This brings me to one of my most important and favorite off-grid gadgets.
Want anything special for your birthday?
Just a decent cup of coffee.
So depending on how particular you are as a coffee drinker, manual coffee grinders are actually, they grind a much more consistent grind than electric grinders do. So you're going to end up with a much better tasting cup of coffee. And as far as coffee goes, if you really don't want to do it manually, then you can get yourself a little power station and plug in an electric grinder.
Hey, great coffee.
Oh, yeah. Again, my big theme up here at the Off-Grid Cabin is keeping things as simple as possible. The simpler things are, the more enjoyable things are. If you have any kitchen hacks or off-grid hacks that you'd like to share, I'd really love to hear about them. And I want to mention, the channel's been growing pretty quickly over the last few videos. It's very exciting, of course. And the one thing that sort of took me off guard a little bit was just how much sharing of experience has been going on in the comment section. I love that. There's a real sense of community. Really happy to read your experiences, and I really have learned a thing or three from them, and I know other people have as well. So keep on commenting. That's awesome. And just enjoy life as simply as you want it to be. Happy off-gridding, guys.